Hello, guys. Welcome to sportsbookreview.com. Returning guest, Mr. Martin Green is here on the line. It has been a long week filled. We've had Champions League fixtures, Europa League fixtures, head into the weekend as well with some highlight matches. Martin Green here to give us his best value picks headed into the weekend, and I might have a few myself. Martin, thanks for being here.
How exciting. Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's been a very interesting week. A lot of it went the way I thought, but there were a few upsets and surprises along the way in Europe.
Definitely.
Hopefully things will all settle down in the domestic leagues.
More so, actually, Europa League. I think that's where we saw a few upsets that I was sort of like quite surprised about, but ready to get back on the horse and produce some winners.
Indeed. Well, so a lot of teams don't take the Europa League seriously, so it's a bit difficult sometimes when you're tipping it. But we're in a crucial stage in the league seasons for all the top European leagues, so everyone's going to be very much taking these ones seriously. So hopefully things will go to plan.
Yeah, all right. Let's start on our home turf, Martin. Got some great value bets, actually, and some great matches lined up for this weekend. What's your value tip there? Best play for Premier League?
I think the Premier League is the most exciting one for betting this weekend. I could find 5 or 6 within the Premiership that I can recommend, and kind of slim pickings in all the other leagues. I'd really recommend that one. Last weekend, I was very impressed with Man United in a typical Jose Mourinho performance, strangled the life out of the game against Liverpool. Man United now play Chelsea, and he will be even more determined not to lose to the club that sacked him last season. I can really see Man United parking the bus and doing a bit of a job on Chelsea. So I really think this one can end a draw, and I found 3.5 on the draw. Man United v Chelsea.
Yeah, interesting. Do you know what? I've heard cases for Chelsea, the draw, Manchester United. I think it's going to be a very, very interesting game. I would probably be more leaning towards the draw or a draw no bet option, maybe on the Man United side there. If you had to predict a score in that match, what would it be?
I'd say probably either 0-0 or 1-1.
Yeah. All right.
I think low scoring, tight, tense, low scoring game for me.
And my bet actually is the under 3 goals there. I found that 1.9 earlier in the week. Under 3 goals, I think it's going to be close. That's my top tip. Top tip from there. What about Tottenham? A lot of people are jumping on board Tottenham right now when they go and visit Bournemouth. They're priced at evens.
Great bet. Both Tottenham and Leicester are incredibly well priced this weekend. I think Tottenham are so attractively priced because they had a bit of a grueling midweek game against Bayer Leverkusen. They got a very creditable draw there. But the game before they drew with West Brom when everyone was expecting them to win. So perhaps everyone's a bit unconvinced by Tottenham. But I believe they're a very, very strong side. They beat Bournemouth 5-0 and 3-1 last season, so 8-1 aggregate. Bournemouth come into the match fresh from a 6-1 victory over Hull, but largely disappointing this season. And I really think Tottenham should be getting the job done there. I think they can do it. And I also think Leicester have enough about them to beat Crystal Palace at home now that they've got enough Champions League points on the board. They can start focusing on domestic matters. So those are 2 good win bet options there, I think.
Totally agree with you as well. Like the Leicester win as well. You get those odds about 2.07. One other, before we move on from the Premier League, one other bet that I quite like, which is for an accumulator bet, is the Man City win. You get that as high as about 1.5 right now. Not a bad price at all. Man City at home, must win, playing Saints, who are struggling on the road.
Yeah, I think it could be time for them to get their season back on track. I guess because they're without a win in 4, that's put some people off. Southampton have been playing well, but yeah, were disappointing in the Europa League. And Man City really need to start winning again sooner or later. So, I mean, they really should. This is a game they should look at and think they'll win this. The team that's really impressing me as an Arsenal fan. I'm really impressed with Arsenal, but don't normally like to tip them. But I think they're doing so well that I could quite easily see them going and winning by at least 2 clear goals against Middlesbrough. So Arsenal -1 versus Middlesbrough is 1.75, which I like the look of too.
Yeah, not a bad bet. Now let's head on over to sunny Spain. Got a few key matches taking place as well. What do you any bets that stand out for you in La Liga?
Yeah, there's one that stands out. I think it's difficult in La Liga this weekend. A lot of heavy favourites and some sort of very similarly matched teams, but I like Barcelona at the moment. Fresh fresh from two 4-0 victories in a row over Deportivo and Man City. And Lionel Messi's come back at just the right time, inspiring his teammates. And they've got Messi, Suarez and Neymar back on track. I think they can beat Valencia, although Valencia took 4 points off them last season. I think Barcelona will be looking for revenge, and I think they can beat them comfortably. So I was looking at Barcelona -1 versus Valencia for 2.1.
And that's, again, your European handicap line. I also like Barcelona as well. I think that their price, you can get them as high as about 1.5 as well. I think it reflects their recent history with Valencia. But Valencia is struggling. They're down in 14th. This really is a must-win for Barcelona. They're in 4th place. I'm sure they're not happy with that right now, and especially at this point in the season, they'll definitely be looking to claim those 3 points. I've got -1 on the Asian handicap line there, which is 1.68, but on Barcelona, -1.5, which is sort of roughly what your bet means. So basically to win by 2 goals or more. I've got 2.1, Bet365, so you've got lots of value in that, or Barcelona as the accumulator bet. Anything else from La Liga? That's just your one.
La Liga. I'm a bit on the fence about some of the other games. Is there anything else you like?
Well, I'm looking at the match Real Madrid versus Athletic Bilbao. Obviously, Ronaldo failed to score in their Champions League fixture. I don't think he's going to be happy with that. Coming into this match, they're on their turf. I think we're going to see a Real Madrid win there, get them about 1.2, 1.3, and I think we're going to see goals. You can stick Real Madrid and the over 2.5 goals, 1.62. Not a vast amount of value, but I do like it. And then the other match, quickly, which is one that I'm looking at, just want to hear your thoughts, actually. I right now have a no play, but it's Sevilla versus Atletico Madrid. Definitely the highlight match here this weekend. Atletico Madrid, number 1, Sevilla, number 3. Sevilla won't want to drop any points. They're on their turf. They're in great form, but as is Atletico Madrid, two teams in good form right now. But many are saying that Atletico Madrid win is money in your pocket. 2, Sevilla 4.18, draw 3.5. I don't know. I don't know whether to take that or not. What do you think?
I wouldn't take it. If I was leaning either way, I would be leaning towards Atletico Madrid just because they're in sensational form. They're top of the league, and they've brought the defensive strength of last season, but they've added some real sharpness in attack to it, and they're a really frightening prospect at the moment. But having said that, Sevilla have just made their home stadium a fortress. They haven't been too great on the road, but at home they're really, really difficult to beat, and I would hate to oppose them at home, regardless of playing. So
tough one.
I'd go out, but I'd perhaps consider an Atletico draw no bet, but I'm not sure you'd get great value on that.
Yeah.
So worth it.
Actually, one of the bets as well from the Real Madrid Athletic Bilbao match is both teams to score, 1.75, Bet365. Real Madrid has conceded about a goal a game. They've conceded five across 4 games. Athletic Bilbao have scored 5 goals over 4 games on the road. I think we'll see both teams scoring. So that's another bet that I like there from the Real Madrid Athletic Bilbao.
Why I sort of avoided Real Madrid simply because they're short odds, but they do concede a lot of goals. They conceded against Legia Warsaw, who aren't a good team, and Legia Warsaw hit the post against them and threatened a couple of times. So I think, maybe both teams to score is a good bet, good way around it.
All right, heading over now to Germany, Bundesliga. 2 matches I like in this in the Bundesliga. How many bets have you got?
I like the look of Hertha Berlin versus Cologne. I don't normally like to tip a draw, but I just think this one has draw written all over it for me. Cologne have drawn 3 of their 7 games so far this season. Both teams are the surprise packages. We've got 4th playing 2nd, which nobody would have predicted at the start of the season. But I just think that they're evenly matched teams. I think they can cancel one another out, and I think this could be a stalemate. So I found 3.25 on the draw there, which looks good.
Not bad at all. I've got actually one main tip here. Bayern Munich versus Mönchengladbach. Bayern Munich on their turf, a force to reckon with. Mönchengladbach's road form incredibly poor. They haven't won a match on the road, 1 draw, 2 losses. They've only scored 2. They've conceded 8. They've only scored 2. Bayern Munich have only conceded 3. I'm going to split my stake here. Bayern Munich minus 1.5, 1.68 to win by 2 goals or more, or Bayern Munich minus 2, which you can get for 2.1. So if they only win by 2 goals on my minus 2 bet, then I get my money back, but at least I've got some money from the minus 1.5. If they win by 3 goals, then both of my bets come in.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. I like the first bet a bit more, although obviously not as good value. Mönchengladbach have been in dreadful form, as we know, but they did go to Celtic and win 2-0 midweek, which will have given them a bit of a boost. Bayern also destroyed PSV, which was a very good result for them. But before that, they were in dodgy form. They drew their last couple of games in the Bundesliga, and just tipping anything. But I mean, I think Bayern will win. But when you start getting into handicaps and stuff, I get a bit wary.
Do you? All right, listen, let's end now with Serie A. And I tell you what, a lot of people are really liking that Juve win. They are on the road. They're heading to AC Milan. 1.83. Not a bad price. And Juve's away form is very strong. What do you think about that bet? Juve to win.
I'm loving the Juventus win.
Yeah.
It was 1.85 earlier. It must have drifted in already.
Yeah.
I guess more people are getting on it. I mean, they beat AC Milan home and away last season in the league, and they beat them 1-0 in the Coppa Italia final. And I watched that game, and it was just a typical Juventus performance, all based on defensive strength, remaining compact and solid. The odds are so attractive on Juventus because despite being on a 6-game winning streak, AC Milan have had a bit of a strong upturn recently as well. But having said that, I think on paper, Juventus are by far the better side. They really should be winning this, and I think given the way they've played against each other in recent months, I think Juventus can claim a narrow victory there.
All right, narrow victory. What else do you like from Serie A?
One other game I like is the Udinese versus Pescara game. I watched Udinese lose 2-1 to Juventus last weekend, and it wasn't a comprehensive victory for Juventus really at all. Udinese put in a very good performance. They were unlucky to lose. I think they can beat Pescara at home 1.91 and move out of that bottom 3.
All right, fantastic stuff. That wraps up our bets. They're headed into the European weekend. Martin's written an article for us over at Sportsbook Review. A link should be in the description box below. If it's not, head on over to Sportsbook Review and go and check it out there, detailing all his picks. Martin, thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you next week.
Research before you bet. Be sure to check out SBR Picks for the best game predictions, breakdowns, and much, much more.